I'm Katrina, and this is Sew and Tare. And today we're going to be putting up cattle panels as trellises. We're going to do two different ways. One is just as a straight trellis, like this one is set up. Actually, we're going to move this over and set up another one next to it. So that's one, and then the other one is in an arch. So two ways. Here's the first one. First, I got to move this. It's out?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, it's not.
Yeah, it needs to be lifted.
Okay. So I need to move these
Should we
lines
move this out of the
a
way?
little bit. No, it's in the ground. All right. Okay. So it's a little tight because that one's already in there all the way. All right, so I'm moving this. I think to about here. So now you have to move this line. What we want to avoid is making the water line. You want to avoid cutting the water line. All right, so ordinarily when you do this, you don't have one of these on here already. It complicates it. All right. I'm gonna put on my glasses, they're safety glasses. So when you are pounding this in, we already have this end in because we're gonna make a triangle, and we're making another end over there. You wanna have your piece of cattle panel already cut. We have one here. It used to be bent, so it's not quite straight, but that's okay. You wanna have it so you know where it's going to end up so that you don't put your T-post further or closer than it should be. So we're actually going to connect it right there. Well, maybe we can connect it right there. I think that'll be fine. Like right here. Okay. So I'm going to hold this with safety glasses while he bashes it in. Okay, stop. I'm just confirming where the water hose is. Go ahead. Stop. So our next step is to attach this cattle panel to the T-post. And they make these attachers. They're not called attachers. What are they called? T-post clips. So they make these and they're really easy to put on, and they make special tool for it, but you don't need a special tool. You can use a screwdriver, you can use one of pliers, you can use any of those, and that'll be really good. It'll work really well. What I like to do is have a couple feet from here to the bottom of the cattle panel to the ground, because you can train them up that way. You can put them up that way. You can tie strings on there and have it go down so that they can automatically climb. You can do all sorts of stuff with that. But what it does is it extends this panel by that couple feet. So it makes it taller than it would have otherwise. Last year we had green beans growing into the apricot tree, but it was okay. So that is how I usually do it, and we'll try and show you how to do the clips. It's gonna be a little weird over here where we have this post because it's not gonna be flush. This is what these clips look like after they're already on there. So we're not gonna have it quite flush, so it might be a little bit cumbersome to get that side, but we will deal with that. Do you want to lift it while I tie it on there? Okay. I love to. You love to? This is a book rack that I got for free. But how this works, I'm going to show. You want to put it above one of these notches on the T-post, and So hook the small end, and then what you're going to do is bring this other end around and down. Like I said, they make special tools for this that makes it really easy. And if you've done this lots of times with pliers, it's even easy with pliers. Or even, like I said, with even such a simple thing as a screwdriver that you can use to pry. But we're going to want to go around and make that tight. And then also tighten down this one just to help. You don't really have to, but I do. And then that should stay. So we'll do the other side. We might have to mess with this a little. Oh boy. Okay. So take it around, and we're not lined up. There we go. That's better. See, it's not meant to go around two of them. We're gonna have to mess with this, aren't we? So this corner is wonky, so what he's trying to do is line up the point of the clip with the point in the T. Alright, so I'm pulling it forward, and we're not gonna get that. I'm gonna have to bend this. Straighten it out a little bit, I think. So I'll bend it. It's almost like we need to straighten this out and then have it. Oh, yeah. Good. Keep over. No, keep going over. Once we have several of these on here, it will be really secure.
That's pretty secure.
That's pretty secure now. So I think we should probably straighten this out first. So because of special circumstances with having two of these here, that's why he's straightening it out. So you can do this with one person, but it's much easier with two. If you're going to have it up off the ground. It's so short.
Yep.
Should I lift it up more?
If we can.
I don't know if we can, but
Let's try. No.
a little bit. Okay, go for it.
Okay. That's pretty secure.
I think it is pretty secure. But I'm going to open this up. Oops. And I'm actually just going to attach it to the wire because I think that'll work. Because the other one's on there pretty darn securely.
Yeah. I think it is.
Maybe like here. Yeah, I think that'll work. It's a little bent. It's okay. I've seen people put these on top and then on the bottom too. It doesn't really matter. I've seen them both ways. It is better if it's tight against these, which we're not going to get with this angle we have going on, but it's alright. It'll be good enough. Okay, ideally this would not be leaning. I really don't want to redo it though. I'm just going to put this on the bottom. It is easy when you have straight posts and it all lines up, but alright, there we go. I mean, it's pretty sturdy. Like I can, it's not going anywhere. I just want to have one more. Maybe we'll do right here. I've done this before on actual barbed wire fences and it works better. When you get in the groove of doing it, it it works better. So if you don't have these clips, well, one, if you get T-posts from Tractor Supply, ask them and they'll give them to you. Well, they give them to us free of charge. But if you don't have these clips, any wire will do. Zip ties will do. I mean, you can use zip ties, just realize it's not going to last, you know,
forever.
Yeah, forever. Whereas this stuff, once it's in place, you can pretty much rely on them to stay in place. So, okay, that is secure. I can put most of my weight on there. It's good. All right, so that took a while to do. We took a break. And so this is now up. I have my book thing that I got for free, which is great Trellis. And we have our V, our little triangle there. On to the next one. So now we're gonna do the arch with the cattle panel. And I'm going to show you how to do this by yourself. There's a couple videos online about how to do it with other people, and other people is definitely the way to go. But if you only have yourself to do it with, then you can just do one person. So I have well, it's not really T-post, but you can use a T-post. We got these for free, so this is what we're using. And you really only need one, unless it's going to be like a super, super heavy thing that you're going to have on it, then you're going to want two. So like we have some in the front that's passion fruit. We have, you know, it's more than one at that point. But really you need one on either side. But in this case, instead of a T-post, we're actually going to just put it up against the raised bed and see how that works. It should work fine because it's concrete. So it should work fine. So I'm finding the approximate middle of where the panel needs to be. And I'm going to pound this in with the flat side facing the flat side facing the cattle panel. So I believe that this is where I want it. Another thing to check is your water lines. So I have one coming this way, and I know that it goes that way and then crosses. So I know I'm not going to get into a water line or any underground stuff that you might have. All right. I know the bed behind me is level with the pathway, but right now this just needs to go down. And like I said, you need to watch out for any sort of utility when you do these kinds of things. Like I know my sewers, well, it's not under the stake, but I know my sewers over here. I know where things are, and that's important for you to know in your own yard. So know that first, and then you can pound things in. All right, here we go. Safety glasses.
It is now.
I just had to go get through all the mulch. So if you have two people doing this, you're gonna have one person holding and one person hammering, and that's when you can hold it, you know, further down. But when I do this by myself, I hold it further up just because that's the way I do it. I'm starting to change the angle of what I want. So I'm going to go down to the bottom, give it a little wiggle and tap to change it back, and kind of pound down the ground there. And continue. So you can see the little wings are at, can they see? You can see the little wings are at the, like the top of them is at the level of the mulch. And I know the mulch is quite a bit higher than that, but it's pretty secure right now. It's still a little angled, more angled than I want, which will be fine. Like, it's fine to do that. So now this is sturdy, it's good to use two hands now. You can continue to using one hand, but it's just easier with two. That's in there pretty good. And next up is the actual cattle panel. Now the trick is to have this You have this big, long, what, 16-foot panel? Can you show the panel? It's very long, it's very cumbersome, but there is a trick to moving it by yourself. And that trick is to put it up against something, and then you can bend it. So, alright, so I'm going to pop this up on the side. And you can tell it has a natural bend that goes this way. So I'm going to want to support that natural bend and bend it in the way it wants to go. So I'm actually going to flip this. We know that it wants to bend this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the other end. I'm going to get the other end against that cement and then bring this end to it. So I'm going to be putting it up against that edge. If I can get it away from the post. Alright, so that's up against that edge. And I'm going to bring it up like this. And it becomes an arch. So you can see that that's up against the urbanite on this side, on your right hand side, but not the left hand side. That's fine. It will either stay on that zinc or it will continue to go. So we're here, and we want to take it either up and over or around this post, and then down to the ground. Okay, kind of a wonky arch right now. Now is when we come over here and we can kind of straighten this out, flush it out. And you want to come here? So you can see on the bottom here, this is on dirt and this is on the pathway. So what we're going to want to do is even that out. If we had another post here, we could post, support it with a post. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig down over here and get it level. So for that, and this, if you pick this up, this is going to have a lot of tension. So just make sure you pick it up and pull it towards you when you do that. Now, this bed has 3 deep of these ones, so that's how deep it goes, but there we go. Alright, so now we have this arch. It's a little bit wonky. It's not quite in the right place, and so we just want to make our adjustments until we have it in the right place. For my purposes, I want to make sure that this pathway is open, and also I can get over here to my artichokes. So both of those are satisfied for me, so that's good. Next up is to attach this to the post. You can use zip ties, you can use those T-post things that we have. Alright, so we have some zip ties, and we are just going to attach I'm going to move it just a little bit. So this just zip ties here, and that's good enough. So, I mean, you can put more than one zip tie on there. I'll put one right here. Why not? Alright, put in the first couple notches, and then you can squeeze higher and scoot it up and make it tighter. So this is going to wear out in time, but it'll work for now. Now, that's not going anywhere And you have a funky looking arch, but it's an arch and it works. So that is an archway. It has a lot of tension on this side, so we could add a T-post on this side if we wanted, and we don't have to. I think I'm just going to see how the plants deal with it, and if it's too heavy, then we'll add a T-post, and if not, then that'll be fine. So these are pretty sturdy. You can, it would be more sturdy if we had another post over here. So I might do that at some point, but I'm not going to do it right now. So that is how you put a tunnel, put up an archway all by yourself, and it's easier than people might think, but it is easier with two people. So enjoy making trellises in your yard and making your yard beautiful and functional, and vertical gardening is great. Saves you space and can shade things that need shade, that you know, maybe you don't have a tree and you need a shade somewhere. You can make one of these real quick and have shade. Grow something up it. So thanks for watching and enjoy the day. Manuel decided he wanted it to look better. So without adding another T-post, he just added this stake, and it's just woven. I mean, it's not even in the ground. It's just woven in between the cattle panel, and it works.